Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the back of OSL Ro36 Group J. We've got Type B going up against Pure, and Type B impressing us with that last game. Really quick tactic to get those Zerglings around the back of Pure's base, and that just really threw Pure off for the rest of the game. You can see Pure breathing kind of hard there a little bit in the beginning, just up on that TV there. So just looking at his face, not exactly that confident. I would actually probably favor Pure going into this matchup originally, just based on stats. But well, why don't we get into some stats, Matt? Since we didn't mention them last time.
Yeah, we didn't mention anything. It's kind of interesting because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Type B is not ranked quite as well as Pure, and Type B is 33% versus Protoss, while Pure is 48% versus Zerg. So I was really, personally, and I'm sure you were too, Steve, favoring Pure in that first game. And to see Type B play that well and just get that much of an advantage. Now, obviously, I mean, he was practicing that build. He was practicing big time, tricking the Zerglings through the minerals, being able to get the harass in. I feel that if he did that versus Bisu, it probably wouldn't have made any difference, because somebody like Bisu was so good at microing against those early attacks. So Pure didn't quite have the micro there and wasn't able to fend off the attack, and like you said, it kind of affected him the entire rest of the game. But overall, I mean, Pure is the more experienced player overall. Both of them are around 50% for their wins, so it's, you know, it's a fairly fair matchup, but it seems like Type B may have stepped up its game.
Yes, well, overall they're 50% about, but I still think that Pure is taking games against better players. I mean, Type B is really just really B team, like kind of garbage, to be honest. I mean, he's beaten some decent Terrans like Hwasun, Light Memory. His best matchup is against Terran, and that's it though. He's kind of like a Terran sniper, and that's really where it ends. He is actually 69% against Terran.
Wow.
I mean, 9-4. So you know, he hasn't played. He's only played 30 total games, at least as we stand with Kespa ranked games. But again, like you said, 33% is pretty poor versus Pure. Pure is actually worst matchup is versus Zerg. He's actually a lot better against Protoss. He's 57%. So I didn't just favor him because of that. I want to see him win because I want to see him play against Best.
You want to see a Protoss.
You know, because that would be a good PvP. You know, maybe he'd stand a chance against Best, who of course is a Protoss versus Protoss beast. But this is going to be game 2 on Outsider here, and we do have Type B. Just want to mention colors over there on the left. If you don't know, he is a Zerg player on Cool Height Sparkies. And it looks like he's just getting his pull up there. And we have Pure, who plays for We Made Fox, and he's going to be up at the top right. And actually getting Gateway first. Wow, this is really interesting here. So going a little old school. See if we'll see another gate, or if he's just going to you know, get a few Zealots out and then expand and go on to kind of more standard Protoss play. But very interesting. We haven't seen a lot of Protoss play on this map, just because OSL doesn't have that many Protoss players. So I'm really excited to see how this pans out.
And it should be noted that there is a Panda Bear guy on each one of those little 3 islands in the map. There are 3. Each one has a lone Panda Bear guy. They are the overseers of the battlefield, so make sure everything is playing out fair. Man, I would have loved to see like a 2-gate on this map. You know, it might not even be quite small enough to do that. I've seen nobody do a proxy in the middle, too. There's the buildable area right in the middle of the map, or obviously you might not want to do it in the middle, maybe off to the side, but we've yet... In fact, we've seen like maybe one proxy. I mean, we see a proxy pylon, or not a proxy pylon, a hidden pylon going up. I mean, what would you think, Steve, going into this match, being down 1? I mean, what would be your tech of choice to go into this game?
He could tech quickly into DTs and maybe try to get DTs into his base really quick. That's really the only thing I could think of. The only tech you'd want to hide would be maybe, you know, that Citadel. The one good thing about having that ramp on this map is that if you do have a couple Zealots there, he can post them on that ramp, and aside from maybe a drone drill or something like that, he can pretty much hold that area. Thing is, see, the Overlord can get up there so you can see everything, and we do see 2 gateways now coming up in that proxy location, so it might just be straight up just Zealots getting Zealots really quick in his base. Type B is going to be a little uneasy because even though he has that Overlord there, you know, Zerg players are used to always just having sight. Oh, but this Zergling is coming in here. Oh, man, gets scouted with the map hacks.
What?
This can be real bad for Pure. I'm worried here, man, because I really want Pure to come out of this, but I don't know. Pure is responding by instantly sending out his 2 Zealots as soon as he can. He does have 2 Zealots and a probe, and it looks like the first probe has gone in there. Oh, and canceled the gateways.
Wow.
That's actually pretty lucky that he was able to cancel his gateways in time, and immediately Type B throwing up 2 Sunkens. We'll see if those Zealots can make it in there in time. It looks like they're not. The Zealots are pulling back for now, so it looks like Pure has just decided to cut the loss, and Type B actually smartly
reset,
cutting his Sunken production there too, just down to 1. So interesting opening from Pure, but unfortunately it got spotted, and now we'll just see. I mean, what does Pure do? Does he use that money to put down a Nexus? And now this pylon's going to go down, and that's actually pretty unfortunate because he's losing the money they build on the pylon. He's losing that little bit of money for those 2 gateways, and now he's going to have to build an additional pylon. And we see the forge going up. What's nice about this map with having that ramp there is kind of like God's Garden, how you can just build a forge and get a couple cannons up on top of your ramp, and it is still pretty hard for the Zerg player to break, so you can kind of safely expand. It looks like we did see the lair going up for Type B,
right.
So his response is just to go quick here, and it looks like Zergling's speed has been upgraded. He might be able to sneak through that ramp. No, he's not going to be able to, but he's going to take out that cannon, and just putting a little bit of pressure there on Pure while he goes up and gets the expansion of his own. So Pure has yet to get an expansion, and that's going to be a little rough compared to how Protoss usually likes to play.
Type B is currently going to be in the lead economically. He is playing extremely well. I mean, once again, he's practiced for that. I mean, he practiced against Protoss, and they said, here are the proxy locations where we could possibly build a gate. 2 gateways up now. Well, they've been going up, stopping another cannon, stopping the expansion. Type B with just a few lings. Obviously, the amount of zealots that are there are well enough to get rid of the lings, but a Pure has to be able to block his ramp so there's no sort of run by. A 3rd base going up, or a 2nd expansion going up. So Type B is going to be well in the lead, and I am really worried for Pure. Now, he does have a good amount of zealots. They're not speed zealots, no leg upgrades yet. And once again, Type B is preparing for this. He's getting the sunken colonies up here and just playing extremely well. I mean,
well, that is a lot of zealots. You know, zealots are pretty strong, so they can do a lot of damage. But one thing they were showing earlier is how little gas Pure has been mining because of this build, and it's almost like really all-in zealots for now, at least, because if you don't have gas, you can't get that Stargate, you know, to get any Corsairs for defense. You can't get the Templar out because Templar costs a lot of gas. So for right now, he's really lucky actually that Type B wasn't going for just a 2-hatch build, or he would have been totally screwed. So luckily Type B is getting a 3rd hatch up, but still he's probably gonna get mutas up. The good thing about having just, you know, heavy mineral builds is you have extra money for just cannons and zealots. So if he does get cannons up, he's going to have a decent defense, but he needs to get those up. It looks like the Zergling's going to run by here. They might run straight at the ramp. No, they're going to stop and take out the cannon. Don't know if that's the right decision. He does get the cannon, and he is maybe going to get up the ramp. Yes, he is going to get up the ramp. He's going to see everything that's going on, which honestly isn't a whole lot right now, but what Pure is worried about is having these probes die again, and the cannon goes down. Anytime you have more than 2 or 3 Zerglings in there, they can do a lot of damage. We saw that last game. I mean, even if you're Bisu, if you have 6 Zerglings in your base, it's going to be really tough. Good surrounding that Zealot, so that Zealot's going to go down. Again, like you said, Type B is just on his game, really just not letting the little things, you know, be missed. He's really paying attention to small things, surrounding the Zealots, you know, scouting around. He saw those proxy gates, so really just on top of his game.
Everything for Pure is late. Everything he's done is having to be delayed. He only had 2 probes on gas versus 3 probes on gas. I mean, that is a big difference. You mentioned before, you need gas. Here come the Mutalisks. Type B just was getting a Cybernetics core up, probably doesn't even have any Dragoons out yet, and has a bunch of non-upgraded Zealots. I think this might be it right here. I mean,
I just can't even believe this. I'm speechless. The fact that Pure could go down like this, but I mean, not enough cannons. What is he going to do? Just all-in counter with the Zealots? That's not going to work either. 1 Dragoon, he's going to try to save that Dragoon, but it's not going to be able to be saved because Zealots are also on the ground. Another Dragoon is out. He needed more cannons. He should have been spending his money on cannons, and there's GG already. Wow. So Pure knocked out of the OSL, and we're going to see Type B go up to face against Best.
If Type B can make it past Best, that will be a gigantic upset. And I mean, I'm going to tell you, I'm impressed, man. I mean, I went from assuming this was going to be a shoo-in for Pure to now a little worried for Best, as good as Best is, obviously, and he's on his game. Type B's been doing some practicing.
Well, at least Pure's still in the OSL. He actually beat Quanro and Gigi Play to get into this current OSL, so at least he's still in a Star League. Not playing too shabby, but wow, Type B just outplaying him there, and we'll have to see what happens in game next set.
The next set we'll go in versus Best, and hey, maybe we'll get 3 games out of one of these. Yay! I don't know. All right, guys, talk to you then.